Welcome to WROL Broadcast. Today I have with me M4, the Sensei, Loot, and Kage. And today we're talking about the top 10 most underrated toons in DCL. Now this is separate from our tier listings. Some of these characters aren't ranked super high in the tier listings, but we still feel these characters are a bit underrated. And in some cases we might have ranked a few of them a little lower, so that might be corrected later on. So let's go ahead and start at number 10, we had Silver Banshee, which is... I can't remember which one of you guys liked her more than others. Was that UM4?
It wasn't me.
I know it wasn't Loot. Maybe it was Kage.
Oh.
Maybe. I can't remember. I can never remember.
There was a choice between Silver Banshee and I can't remember, and we went for Silver Banshee.
Oh, it was a toss-up between her and Poison
Ivy.
Yeah.
Ivy.
So we were torn between Poison Ivy and Silver Banshee. We decided to go with Silver Banshee because we didn't feel Poison Ivy was really that underrated because she's used pretty regularly.
What class do we have Ivy in?
I think B.
B, I
B.
believe.
And what about Banshee?
C, probably.
I don't
C.
recall.
Okay.
This was one of those things we probably should have researched a little bit before we started the podcast, but that's okay.
We're just going in blind.
So anyway, I'll pull up the tier listings while we talk. So somebody talk about Silver Banshee a little bit.
We should have Joker on this.
He does like Silver Banshee a lot.
He did. Okay.
So
I'm going to say one thing about Silver Banshee. She is probably the best counter for Power Girl. So one thing about death immunity and damage immunity, if a move purges that immunity, it cannot kill that too. So Silver Banshee gets around that by having that AoE being triggered by the Death Whale. Or is it Banshee's there? Yeah, Banshee's there, and then it triggers Death Whale. So she gets purged by the Banshee's there, and then she'd be down to like no health, 1 health, and then the Death Whale would just kill Power Girl. So just by that move alone, she deserves a spot on your team if you're having problems with Power Girl.
Which was funny because we actually were talking about Silver Banshee or Power Girl right before we did the podcast, and we were talking about how powerful Power Girl is, and if
she's busted.
Yeah, she's definitely rebirth worthy.
Right. Okay, and then another thing about Silver Banshee that's good for her is she's typically not your priority target. But you'll find that if you're reliant on buff toons, let's say Larfleeze or an Etrigan, that she would put buff immunity on your team. So you'd be forced to kill her before another like damage dealing toon. So it will shift your priority. So that's why she's good to have on your team. That may not work on offense, but for your defense, it'll be very good to have her on your team.
And Kage, you were going to say something about Silver Banshee?
Oh, I was just going to say just exactly that. If I know it's not popular to build around death, but it does set up a really good defense team.
Yeah, I've noticed the times I've faced her, when I kill her first, I kind of forget that she can shell out some annoying debuffs on your team. I also was messing around with a comp where I was using Red Hood lead, I was using Shazam Jr., Silver Banshee, and Dr. Fate, and that was actually a surprisingly good team because you kept putting the heal immunities on and Dr. Fate was procking, and then between Red Hood and Silver Banshee she kept doing her AoE.
So you mentioned that Banshee can shut down Power Girl. Explain how that works.
She doesn't shut her down, she just flat out kills her.
She just kills her?
Yes, she does.
How does that work?
Right. So use the Banshee Stare to purge the immunity. So it will leave her at like 1 health. And then if you're lucky, she will proc her Death Whale, and that just flat out knocks her out.
So I can't remember. Does it do bonus damage against characters with immunities, or just purges all the immunities?
It just purges.
Just purges?
She's also good against Superman. She's good against any of those characters that have annoying death immunity. She's actually pretty good against.
Right. And Luke, that the reason she's good is she's special damage. She just tears Power Girl apart.
Yeah, so what happens is, it's actually, her abilities are cool, what's actually cooler is that she has a passive ability to unleash her AoE every time someone uses a purge move. That's why she works really well with like Red Hood or Dr. Fate. Anyone with a purge move is going to proc that AoE, and so that's free AoE attacks that Banshee's getting. The only problem is it's only like a, 25% chance?
30% chance.
30%.
It doesn't seem to proc very often.
Right.
Right.
But that's popular part of her kit, though. What's surprising sometimes is like, hey, I got stunned or silenced, and like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, yeah. That's the other cool part of her passive. Someone on your team gets stunned, everyone gets immunities.
Yeah, which is very useful against Hal Jordan right now.
Maybe on turn 3.
Yeah, on turn 3, excuse me. But
or if you're fighting, let's say, someone's stun team, you know.
Well, if you purge with Power Girl and then you get stunned, I mean Wonder Girl, and then you get stunned, she can.
I wonder if she might be good against Donna Troy, even.
Yeah, she is, because I use Donna Troy all the time, and that's the only time I ever notice it. So.
Yeah, because every time Donna Troy, I swear to God, every time she like retaliates or whatever the AI does, Donna Troy just breathes, and then like the whole team is stunned.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on. We're a little long in the tooth on Silver Banshee, and I don't have a lot of video for her. So let's do Martian Manhunter, who I was never a big fan of, but since I've been using him in Siege, he has fast become my go-to leader for Siege because he keeps me from instantly dying to high crit characters early in Siege when I don't want to use a taunting character. So I have felt like I've underestimated him for a little while now.
He's kind of like Donna Troy light for now.
Yeah, I mean, he's not as good as Donna Troy, but his purge is nice, his stun is nice, his call assist is nice because it gives the awareness, which I never really paid any attention to until this Siege.
Well, a lot of people hate him because, he was supposed to be the White Whale tune, and then it got sold.
And then he wasn't that great anyway. There was a lot of badness that associated with Martian Manhunter, but I feel like it's been long enough now that we should look past that.
Okay. So yeah, Siege is it allows us to relook at our tunes that we ignored for a while. So one of the best things about him is like, if he has an awareness and he does a call assist, he will give awareness to the tune. That is a very good.
It's very helpful.
Extremely helpful. And
it saved me a lot of times.
I think one of the biggest knocks on Martian Manhunter was that he was just a blatant copy of Green Lantern Hal Jordan before.
Yeah, but he's really not. I mean, I really don't feel like.
I didn't think so.
I mean, everybody says that, but they do such different things. I mean, yeah, he can stun. Yeah, he has to have basically a shield, which is his awareness. And I guess they do have a call assist, but they feel different to me.
Right, they play a little bit differently.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, characters can be similar. So let's go ahead and move on. This is a character that's been requested a lot, and it's part of the reason we put him on this list. M4 disagreed because he thinks he's properly rated, but is Black Lightning. I don't use him a whole lot, but he is a character that is... I was messing around with him for video for this episode, and I have to say he is better than I gave him credit for. And I do feel like he's a little underrated for having an energy character that can heal. He actually does good damage when he's overhealed, and having a purge is pretty useful.
He's good on an auto team, too. Because he moves really fast. He purges, and the purges won't miss. So that just gets your overheal going. You run in with Bane or Swamp Thing. That's a free overheal right away. It opens up a lot of different comps.
What I like about him most... sorry, to cut you off. What I like about him most is the 3 int downs. It softens them up for a bigger attack because he's so fast, right? So let's say you punch someone, he has 3 int downs, and then you have let's say a Starfire, Star Sapphire, or anyone that has an AoE int attack. Okay, so it's really good.
I was actually had my first Bane team where Bane wasn't a complete retard testing this character, and I used what's her name? The healing girl.
Mara?
No, the other one. The leader.
Satana?
Enchantress.
Enchantress. Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't think of her name. Enchantress, him, Bane, and I can't remember who I used as a 4th person. But just having him starting overhealed, he did a ton of damage, and then Bane actually did a few things in the match. And that, having an overheal type, I was using Starfire because every time somebody healed, she would proc and go crazy. So it actually worked really well. I was surprised at how good that team was. So moving on to another character that Siege has made us all relook at, there's a couple of those on this list, is Ocean Master. And because he recently had a sale, I saw a lot of people asking about him. He's surprisingly good, and he even fits in well with Hal Jordan Green Lantern because of the shielding. I like him with Flash and with Mary teams because he gives the speed ups. And in Siege, he is your go-to purger and turn meter manipulator. So I've been having a lot of fun with him.
I think he's awesome.
His kit was always good. His problem was he was so squishy. But now that Hal Jordan is in the forefront, and then with even Alan Scott, so now he has a chance to get past the turn 1. And then when he gets going, that silence is just nasty, especially in Siege. Even Black Adam doesn't do a lot of his work when he's silent, so he's a good Black Adam counter.
Yeah, he really is.
No, I don't know. Black Adam punches pretty hard too.
Yeah, I mean, I would take Black Adam over him, obviously, but
I think Ocean Master is pretty awesome.
The only knock I have on Ocean Master is that when you're facing Power Girl, he can't do enough damage to knock her down.
Right, and the silence does nothing to Power Girl.
Actually, it's worse. I mentioned this earlier. Power Girl punched Ocean Master to death when she had like 95 strength ups and kept punching because she was silenced from Ocean Master over and over.
Because she's so busted.
Is that a pun, Kage?
What's that?
Is that a pun? She's busted.
I'm not going to deny that.
Moving on to our number 6, and these aren't in necessarily particular order for most underrated, but I kind of feel like this is a pretty good order setup, is Arsenal. Another character, because of Siege, I think we listed him as a C, which we're definitely going to have to revisit that. Let me just double check that. Yeah, we had him as a C. He's definitely not a C character. He's a hard B, maybe even a high B.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
But I think he does a lot, with the strength downs. I mean, he's part of the reason my teams stay alive. I mean, granted, we kind of have a good crop for this Siege to plan on different things to keep your characters alive, but those huge amount of strength downs really make a big difference.
It really does. So I think why we're so down on him before is because, one, we thought he was like, oh, he's just going to make the Batgirl meta even worse. And then he's not very good at doing that job. And then second, we were kind of expecting like Green Arrow's type of damage, which he does not do. But in this Siege, he's so good at keeping your team alive with those strength downs. It's a lot of strength downs.
He's more of a utility character. When you're trying to use him as a high damage character, that's not his place. But as a utility character, he does that job, and he does it very well.
But he does crazy damage when Ares gives him those strength ups. Oh, I've seen him done a ton of damage to Ares.
Yeah, it makes me angry.
What I really hate about Arsenal is actually his passive, where he puts the int downs and the strength downs automatically on you.
And those add up really fast.
Yeah. Yeah, so once he gets going, your whole team is pretty much sluggish, and you're like, Man, I can't do anything right now.
I just wish the proc rate was a little higher. 25% is not that high.
I think 25% is a good.
Yeah, because when you're facing him, he does it like 75% of the time, and
I know.
so...
When I use it, it doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, he is actually kind of scary to face. Not that I'm scared that he's going to kill me, but that he's going to enable his teammates to kill me before I kill them.
Yeah, because you're doing no damage.
So a lot of the pew-pew teams that you put out, you have to think when he's out there. Oh, he's going to do his strength down on me, or is he going to do his 3? Because he's sometimes open with that AoE, and it screws your plan to do the pew-pew on, let's say, Black Adam or Wonder Girl. Makes you think twice.
Yeah, it's so funny because he usually opens with a 3, but when he doesn't, that's when matches go south.
It's annoying, right? And it just screws with your whole plan.
And he's so fast. So fast.
So, moving on, we have Killer Croc, and I'll let M4 start on this one because I know he has a special place in your heart because of the previous siege.
He does. All right, so the one thing that his problem is, he attacks taunters, but most of the time he doesn't have a way around, let's say, Harley Quinn, right? He can't kill them. However, in the first siege, he was my MVP. As soon as you put a true sight on him with a Red Robin, he is very smart. He will attack the correct target. So he was my way to get to Constantine. That's why I was able to use mostly 20-point teams in the first siege. I don't have to resort to DSHG Deadshot Harley gun just to kill Constantine. He does it on his own, out of turn. He is just amazing. And with those crit ups, he hits really hard. And then he would neuter, let's say, a Power Girl, steal all of those strength ups. Even, who was that other strength guy then? Was it Arcus? Oh, no, it was Jon Stewart. He would just eat all of those strength ups and then all right, you're neutered. I don't have to worry about you. And then also with, what else does he do? He's invisible. He kind of heals on his own, so he's just a flat-out amazing character. I was never really underrated for me. I thought he was really good.
I really like him against Wonder Girl and Power Girl because he can steal the strength ups. That is so useful.
Well, us poor F2P don't even have him, so whatever.
Big to play.
He's kind of rare.
He's the pay to win whale character. So.
Well, that was one before they switched to Siege. So yeah, he's paywall.
He was. I mean, I like him a lot, but my problem is he's like Bane for me, and there'll be quite a few matches where he just doesn't do anything.
Even that could be true. Yes.
I do have a match that I recorded. I actually might include it as my video for him, where I have Superman taunting, Power Girl taunting, MJ taunting. Not once during the entire match did he do anything. I'm like, come on. But.
Oh, another thing that's good for him is let's say there's a Wonder Girl, and she's hiding behind, let's say, a Donna Troy. If she does her AoE and hits him, she's now gonna have taunt, and she's accessible.
Yeah, that's his biggest benefit is any of these annoying AoE characters. Once they get the taunt on them, you have options you can go after. Or if you get lucky and he just procs his passive, he'll usually just one-shot her.
You know who counters Croc though?
Oh.
Good old Clayface.
Oh yeah, that was the annoying part. Is Clayface would roll. It's like, oh look, I'm taunting again.
True. Oh, he's also good against Ares. If you're having problems with Ares, he'll just steal all of those strength ups.
Yeah.
And put bleed on him.
Yeah, I used him once in a siege match, and that worked out quite well. Moving on, the next on the list is one close to my heart. Is Killer Frost, who is on my new favorite. Actually, I wouldn't even call it new anymore. I've been using it for like a month and a half. But ever since the Hal Jordan rework, my favorite stun team, Hal Jordan, Killer Frost, Catwoman, and Donna Troy. And man, I love Killer Frost now, and she's high on my list to consideration for Rebirth right now. Because she shells out the damage. And she's a character that when they stun, she actually procs for me pretty regularly. What's her proc rate on that? It's got to be pretty high for it to happen for me.
Let's see. 65%? 65%.
Yeah, that's enough even for me to get procs.
I like her.
I
think
her
she's
too.
pretty damn good.
Well, one of the things I think a lot of people forget, and I use that team exclusively against every variant of the Batgirl team, and I never lose even a single tune. And I can use it against any one of them because Killer Frost doesn't miss with her stun.
Right, because well, I shouldn't say this because it doesn't do any damage. Although there are some tunes that does no damage but needs something else for them not to miss. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I've never had it miss before, so I'm pretty sure that's
right. It never misses, just like Riddler. That
right.
attack that doesn't do damage, it doesn't miss.
And she does a ton of damage. I mean, I kill blues regularly with her.
Yeah, because of the int-ups.
And the special damage works against a lot of tunes. She does a ton of slows. You can pretty much stun lock a character forever if it's just her and another character. She's quite good. I mean, she doesn't really do a whole lot else, but the turn meter, speed downs. I haven't really played with her in a ton of different teams, but I know she can fit into. I mean, especially she pairs well with Donna Troy. She pairs well with Hal Jordan, so you can build teams around that easily.
Now, is she a good counter to Hal Jordan?
Yeah, she can keep him stunned.
I don't know.
No, like
you can remove the shields, but he'll gain like 10% off it, and he's back in business. And also, you can't stun Hal Jordan.
Right. You gotta wait, but I use that team against Hal Jordan teams, and I just wait out the 2 turns, and then I'm fine.
No, that's because of the next Roman in the list.
I'm a little confused with the 3 legendary because not a lot of people have taken it. When you use it, does it rip off the shields and then do the damage, or does it just do the regular damage and then just remove all the shields?
It just does the regular damage, remove all the shields, but you're guaranteed to remove all of the shields. So unlike Hal Jordan, you won't do enough damage to remove a full bar of shield. So I usually don't use it on. I don't use it to remove the shield. Well, it does them both. I think it does it at the same time. Because I've had it.
Let's say the shield or the damage does like 200 base damage, right? You remove do you remove 200 HP, or is it calculated into the shield removal?
I think it's calculated in the shield because when I hit Hal Jordan with it, usually just removes all shield and you only lose a tiny bit of life. But when I use it against like a red who's fully shielded, I can kill them in one shot sometimes.
Oh, so that has me curious because sometimes you'll see like a red hiding behind shields, like Bane.
Oh, she rips Bane apart. I mean, just Bane stands no chance against her.
Okay.
Penguin, same thing. I have no fear of Penguin with her.
I'm going to take him at L5 then.
She's good. I like her. Next on the list, and this is one who goes very well with Killer Frost, is Catwoman, which I've had a few people kind of talk down Catwoman like she's not that great. And yes, when they changed her kick to not be able to punch through MJ, that kind of lessened her utility for a while. But MJ is not nearly as prevalent as she used to be. You see more of a variety of tanks. And with Hal Jordan as your leader on this team that I run, you just remove all her shields anyway, so you don't care. So then Catwoman, she's so good because she removes. So she can stun on a Hal Jordan team because she removes the debuff immunity first. She removes all their buffs first and then stuns them and does the damage. So it doesn't matter what they have. If they have stun immunity, it doesn't matter. Bane punches right through, stuns him, removes all his buffs. Wonder Girl, Ares, doesn't matter who they are. All their buffs are gone, they're stunned, and then Killer Frost will attack. The other thing I really like about her is her whip will remove any immunities as well. So if you hit like a Power Girl, you'll take her death immunity off.
I really wish with Catwoman she would steal the immunity. Because wasn't that in the old kit? Wasn't that in the old kit where like if she like whipped you with death immunity on, it'd be she'd take it for herself.
No, she steals awareness. She does steal it. Not every.
Yeah, I know she steals. Yeah, because she was really popular, fighting with Deathstroke.
Yeah, I used her a ton then.
I don't think she ever stole anything other than awareness. I think they added True Sight in her kind of mini rework. But that's pretty much it. She was designed to counter.
I didn't realize that.
Me too. Till I read it. I'm reading it right now.
Wow, I never noticed that. That's good to know,
steals
though,
Wait,
because
did you say she steals true sight?
Yep, she does.
I did not know that. And I
I
use
didn't
her
know that
Yeah.
either.
constantly.
That's what makes her underrated. No one really takes it.
Well, I
Even
use her
the
to
one
steal the
dodges all
awareness because you see so much awareness flying around with
I know.
Penguin
So
everywhere,
now,
and
yep.
if I
Now we
see
know.
I mean, because I use that stun team on auto more than any other team now, and you run into Deathstroke, you don't even have to change your team out. She just steals all his awareness and kills him.
You know what's annoying about her? Sometimes on defense, she won't die,
Yeah,
and she can knock a tune out because she won't die.
well, what's nice too is she gets hit by an AoE that sometimes will take her really low. She turns invisible. If her AI wasn't so dumb where she used her invisibility all the time, she would even be a better character on defense. But on offense, you can when you can manually control it, you can time that
Right.
to be used whenever you want. So I use it to save me all the time to keep her from dying. Moving on, our next on the list is Batwoman, who I think on our
Go
tier
ahead.
list we had Batwoman as a B, which I think we're kind of missing the boat on that. After playing Siege and running into her
I
more
think
than a
she's
couple
an A.
times.
She's freaking awesome.
Yeah,
She's one of the scariest tunes in Siege.
Oh my God! I fought a Rebirth Batwoman the other day. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. I hit someone
Yeah.
and she retaliates. That retaliation hits hard, man.
it does.
It does.
No,
Okay.
yeah, no kidding.
Oh my God!
Okay.
I
So in
lost a couple
Siege,
characters for her.
here's the worst. So there was a team in Siege, two greens. I forgot who. Maybe Hal Jordan, someone, and then Batwoman and Kaga. Okay. So all right, this should be easy. I'm gonna go all green and you're toast. No, I lost two tunes. That kick doesn't care what color you are.
Yeah,
It
just
hits
so much
hard.
damage.
And then the retaliation is 100%. She would just poke you incessantly, just whittles you down.
When she gets rid of
And with
awareness with that, that's the biggest thing. Is it doesn't sometimes it doesn't do a lot of damage, but because it's constantly getting rid of awareness, if you're relying on Martian Manhunter or Donna Troy to keep your characters alive, you can't rely on that
right,
awareness at all. And then she's always
right,
invisible.
and not just that. So she has that 5% true damage per invisible teammate. So with Kaga, that 5% is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't care, right? It's 5%. So she can whittle down any green.
Oh, you know what? Clayface is her best friend too.
Oh yeah.
He is. So, but you have to place him correctly. He has to be to the left of Batwoman.
Well,
So
I
if
don't
you
know if we want to
apply,
reveal that, otherwise they might
all
nerf
right,
her.
right, because the invis needs to be applied to her first before she casts that stealth ops, and then she'll have twice the amount of strength ups, and then when she kicks, it's nasty.
Yeah, if you
Well,
had a way to remove awareness or taunt before she uses that ability, you
Right.
could just slaughter anything on turn one. But if there's no taunter or protection, I mean, she's guaranteed to almost always kill a blue or bring him down so low that you got him.
Yeah, she'll kill two blues like it's
She
nothing.
would. She would.
she'll one-shot reds too. Don't forget.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I mean, I just lost a match.
She
I lost
is,
a character
if
earlier because she
a
one-shotted.
rebirth Batwoman is, I think it's the scariest tune in Siege. And there's a lot of people that run with Siege with Batwoman. She's been all over the place.
Oh, Rover Dude has a rebirth Batwoman. I get her on every freaking board.
Yeah, so do I. I'm always texting M4. So what do I do here, buddy? What do we do about this one?
Yeah.
So
Let's move on to our final character, and we have to say thank you very much to KittiLittl for giving us an awesome cosplay that was used as the cover art for this, and also we'll probably have a few images before and after Black Canary if you're not watching the YouTube video. If you're not watching the YouTube video, I encourage you to at least check out the album cover because that is some awesome cosplay. And so we decided
It is. Kitty's awesome.
Go, Kitty.
So we decided to make, in honor of her cosplay, we decided to make Black Canary our #1 underrated tune. And M4 loves Black Canary, and I also really like Black Canary as a character a lot. She's, especially as a leader, she's one of those leaders you don't see too often, but when you use her, you're like, why don't I use her more? She's a great character. Turn meter, strength down, stuns, evasions.
Silence.
Silence. I mean, she's got a
And
lot to her
don't forget, she might very well be the tankiest red out there. She doesn't look the part, but she is really tanky.
Yeah, I mean, she can definitely take a hit, which, I mean, she can take a lot of hits from some heavy-duty greens, which you'll see in some of the videos where I get hit by Power Girl and by Starfire, and she actually lives to tell the tale.
Well, what scares me about her is that if you hit her teammates, she gains turn meter. So when her turn comes up, you're like, oh, crap, what's she going to do? Is she going to silence me? Is she going to put a hit chance down on me?
And then her basic does like 30% turn meter down, which is pretty significant.
40. It's 40.
Yeah, 40%.
And the worst part, she gains 3 evasion ups. So the more you kill her teammates, the more impossible she is to kill. Because she's going to gain awareness and turn meter down on you, and she's going to be impossible to hit. So
M4, don't you have footage of Black Canary soloing teams?
For the summer games, I think I have 2 entries. Both of them have Black Canary. I did one where it's like her and Kid Flash. And that was it. She just basically soloed the full team.
Which is funny. If you leave her for last, she can sometimes solo your team, because if you don't have anti-evasion, you can't hit her, and then she'll just whittle you down.
Even if you have anti-evasion, you'll never get a turn.
Yeah, 'cause she'll punch twice. She'll put all strength downs, and then you can't hurt her.
And because if she gains evasion, she'll gain awareness. So even if you have can't miss, you can't hurt her. And that's the time when you actually get a turn, because she's gonna constantly put turn meter down on you.
Yeah, you know what I love? Is that she can't heal herself like some characters and be busted.
I faced a
or
Rebirth
maybe
2.
Like punch through a blue like butter.
Yeah.
And you just had to go there, Kage. She actually does well against Power Girl, because if you have a lot of strength ups, she's gonna silence you, but she also has a chance to stun you.
She stuns. It's like 100% chance to stun, because I stun every time when Power Girl I'm facing her.
Oh yeah, it's 10% per strength up. So yeah,
which Power Girl always has like 9 strength ups. So.
Right. So she can hold her own against Power Girl 1-on-1, which is really good for a red. I can say that. For
the only other one I know that can do that is AWLX.
Oh yeah, he kind of can.
You can solo. I've actually soloed 2 greens before with him, and one of them was Power Girl.
Yeah, if the green doesn't have purge, he can deal with the green.
But anyway, that is our top 10 most underrated. I'm sure there's some characters that you probably want to see that could have been on here. And maybe at some point, I know a bunch of people have asked us to go through in more detail all the characters on our tier list, but that is a massive undertaking and it'll be like a 4-hour episode. So maybe we'll kind of break it up into segments, do it by affinity or do it by class or something, and have a marathon couple podcasts at some point over the summer. And then we are going to reintroduce some version of summer games, but we haven't really talked about what it's going to be.
Wait, let's talk about that for a second. What are summer games?
So, you weren't around for this. So last summer, we did a iTunes or Google Play gift card to contestants that entered, and the one we did before, one of the games, we did a couple different ones, but one of the ones we did was the lowest powered teams versus the highest powered teams. And M4 put together an awesome team using Black Canary lead, which is what we were talking about, but we ended up giving it.
It wasn't that. It was
best teams against Batgirl.
Pull a win out of nowhere. If you could pull a win from like nowhere.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was the best there was, and then we had that most epic fail loss, and I think Kage, you were the one who inspired that, because there was a match where you had a full team, everything was going great. Only person left was Power Girl, and then she just did an AoE, and your whole team died.
Oh my god!
That was the most hilarious video ever. I'm gonna dig that up and put it at the end of this podcast. I still have it saved.
She's so busted. I don't.
It's the greatest episode ever.
She's the only character who would just AoE and just kills your team. What the hell?
Starfire?
Well, she needs a crit, but Power Girl, she just, man, I don't want to.
I don't understand why you have such a problem with her, because you use the characters you love most, which are the Wonder Woman, are all like the best characters against her.
Yes, I know. It's just, it's the same thing as like Deadshot, Red Robin conundrum again with Wonder Girl. You're like, oh, cool, I have to bring out, well, whatever.
Well, you have like 5 choices at least for her, not just
Plus
one Wonder Girl?
Silver Banshee. Come on, man. We just talked about her.
Yeah, I have Banshee at Gear 10. I might just bring her up. Whatever.
I've got her at L4. I like lost interest in the game when Banshee came out. That was like the month where I was like, Banshee kind of sucks. And I was like, Banshee kind of sucks. The next month, I think Rod came out, and I was like, see ya. This is terrible.
Hey, didn't you like do a live stream once with Silver Banshee?
It was Silver Banshee. Actually, I think it was Grodd.
No, you did a live stream once, and you're like, oh, wow, this character's really squishy. God, they keep dying. This character sucks.
She is super squishy. I mean, that's her knock. Before you didn't have.
It's very possible that I did that. I just don't remember. Wow, look at this character. Oh, she sucks.
Well, you didn't have Donna Troy and Hal Jordan and ways to protect her as easily.
Right.
Before it was just, hey, look, somebody's going to AoE and she's automatically dead. Because she will die. I mean, actually, one of my videos I have for this, AEAGA, just is like, oh, let me double shot her. But he does that to any blue. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to wrap this up.
It's almost an hour long, jeez.
Yeah. But it's always fun chatting with you guys, and I'll probably have this out over the weekend at some point.
Right on.
All right, guys.
Happy listening.
Hey guys, it's Tootytron. Thank you for listening to WROL Broadcasts. If you like the show, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/WROL Broadcasts. Don't worry guys, Hate knows what he's talking about. Like, remember that one time when he told us that Two-Face was bad? Yeah, right on the money. See you later, guys.